What it do, y'all? DeepSeek is taking the world by storm. I'm hearing it better than GPT. Let's get right into it.
In this video, I'll introduce you to what might be the most exciting open source model currently available, DeepSeek V3. It's the first open source AI model to outperform well-known closed source solutions like GPT-4 or Claude 3.5 in various benchmarks.
That's not possible.
I'll show you how to access it, how well its chat feature works, whether it can keep up in terms of multimodal capabilities, and how to integrate it seamlessly into your own projects. To do this, we'll set up a professional chat solution in just a few minutes, which you can use as a foundation for your own projects. Why make the switch? When you compare the price-performance ratio of DeepSeek to GPT or Claude, there's a clear winner.
I think in the next phase of technology and just LLM development, we got this
Ratio of
shit right
DeepSeek to
here.
GPT or Claude.
This shit right here gotta go. Like I'm not trying to say it's wrong or bad, but don't nobody want to be paying to talk to a model. That's like not a scalable business that I want to be a part of. You guys are trying to monetize off everything that is like given to us naturally, my nigga. Like talking to someone doesn't require payment, my nigga. Seeing something doesn't require payment. Listening to something doesn't require payment. Just because we know how to make a payment model behind everything to make society function, which is like another topic in itself because it doesn't function properly, doesn't mean that you got to do the same for robots. That's why we feel like robots is going to be the sentinels or the end times because look at how we starting with it. 28 cents to, yeah, come on, bro. This is either which way you look at it. It's expensive for us and it's basically like throwing pennies and dollars for them. Like this is AI racism right here. Like this is AI racism right here. We just gonna make that a thing.
There's a clear winner. What's the catch? DeepSeek is based in China, so it's unclear how your data might be used. This means it's especially suitable for projects where data privacy isn't the main concern. Okay, let's head over to the DeepSeek homepage and find out just how good this model really is. First, we'll take a look at the benchmarks. DeepSeek V3 outperforms Claude 3.5 and GPT 4o on benchmarks like MMLU and Drop.
You know what's crazy? You know what would be a crazy project? If you make TikTok using DeepSeek. If you make another version of TikTok, a United States version, so it's gonna be like whoever that developer is, it's gonna be in a catch-22. To the ones that do it, good luck to you, my friend. You will be hunted for the rest of your life.
These tests measure how well a model handles a wide range of academic tasks and complex text reasoning. Overall, DeepSeek V3 shows it can compete with, and often surpass, top closed source models. So let's start by trying out the DeepSeek chat. For this, we first need to log in. I'm going to use my Gmail account for that. All right, now we've got a chat interface. Let's start with something simple. Tell a joke. We can see DeepSeek get to work and tell a joke I've seen quite often before. Now we want to ask something more challenging, namely how many R letters are in strawberry. This is a classic question that many other open source models struggle with, but it looks good. On the first try, it answered correctly. Next, I'd like to try the analysis of an image, so I'll upload a receipt of Walmart. This receipt lists multiple items, and I'd like to find the price of one in particular, the pet toy at the top. Then I'll directly ask a question about this item, specifically how much this pet toy costs. Looks good. The model correctly states 197. That means it analyzed the receipt correctly. Now, let's try something more complex. We'll take the classic "Where's Waldo" image and ask where Waldo is. But that doesn't look good. It says the image has no visual clues about Waldo's location, which of course isn't accurate. All right, but now we actually want to work with the API, and I want to show you that it's fairly simple and nothing to be afraid of. When we log in, we first see a note that current prices are still lower, but will soon be raised. Let's see what that means and what the current costs are. So we're using the model DeepSeek Chat, and right now we pay 14 cents for 1 million tokens input and 28 cents for 1 million tokens output. But we can already see the price will increase soon. It's relatively quick to add money. Yesterday, I added $2 for testing, and it was very easy via PayPal or credit card. You can see that even though I've tested it thoroughly, I've hardly used any credit. We
Word.
can
Yeah, I'm about to make me a DeepSeek. Hold on, let me log in that motherfucker right now, my boy. Hold on, settings. How do I? Nah, we're gonna tap in. We're gonna tap in for sure. We're gonna tap in for
already
sure.
create an API key, which we'll definitely need later and should keep somewhere safe. We give it a name and click on Create API Key. Then we copy the key and store it somewhere. Now let's see how to make our first API call. We'll go to Python for this, and we can see that the code is structured pretty simply and looks a lot like the OpenAI API integration. We copy that code and create a new project by first making a folder called DeepSeek Chatbot. We switch to that folder and open our editor of choice, in my case, Cursor. The first thing we do here is create a virtual environment to keep libraries separate. We activate the environment and create a new file called app.py. Then we open it, paste in the copied content, and see that OpenAI is underlined. That means we still need to install the OpenAI package. We do that once with pip install. Then we have to insert our API key. And now we already have everything we
You
need to
brave
run the
for doing
script
that
and
without
try a
covering
test
that.
run. We see that after sending hello, we get back, how can
How
I
can I
assist you
assist
today?
you?
That's great. So I'll make a git commit of the current state. And to do that, I run git init. I'll add the venv directory to the gitignore so it won't be added, and then I'll commit the current status. All right, next we want to stream the response. That means as soon as the language model starts generating text, we'll output it immediately. For this, we wrap all the logic in a method called streamResponse. And we tell the language model to stream the response. Our goal is for this streamResponse method to be called from an endpoint. Therefore, we return each chunk in the response as soon as it arrives. We can use the yield method for this that handles each new chunk as it arrives. Now it's time for the Flask server. For this, let's create a new Python file server .py.
I just want you guys to know, aspiring developers, all this could be done with AI. Right now, if you're watching, and if you think I'm just watching for views, nah, it's to understand each line, because there's gonna come a point where you don't get a chance to understand each line. Everything is gonna be automated. And a lot of programmers, and I mean a lot of programmers, don't know what the fuck they're doing. So please don't toot your horn on my channel. Go toot it on another nigga channel.
If you're a web designer, here are
Oof,
4
that is how true it is. You already know when an ad is coming. That's when you know you're on to something.
In server.py, we first import Flask, request, and render template from Flask. And of course, we need to install the Flask library. After we've done that, we want to create 2 endpoints. One endpoint returns a simple HTML page that displays the chat window and communicates with the second endpoint via HTTP streaming. We'll create the index.html page in a minute. The stream endpoint will be accessed by the HTML page via vanilla JavaScript code. We simply send the entered message as a parameter and call the streamResponse method from app.py. We just need to tweak the stream endpoint slightly. Specifically, we create an internal method called generate that calls the stream response, and the result is then returned by the endpoint. We can now actually start the server. Because we haven't built an HTML page yet, we can test our endpoint via the specified port by doing a simple curl request. You see here, I'm doing a quick request with the message, "Hello, how are you?" When we fire that off, we nicely see how the result streams in, so it really is delivered via HTTP streaming. Now, of course, we want a web page with a
Oh,
great
that's
chat
like an
interface
embed,
that uses this
embed,
endpoint.
that's whatever.
We create a templates folder, and inside it, a file called index.html. There, we can add a heading, open it in the browser, and it looks good. It's being served. Here, I paste some predefined code, which is purely HTML with JavaScript.
Just
We have a
connecting
few
everything to
containers,
your
a chat
endpoints.
container, and a JavaScript method that calls the stream endpoint
Yeah.
and puts the response into the appropriate container. This is just a basic example that can be used as a blueprint.
Yeah, for
Many of my
sure.
clients use it to integrate the endpoint, have a nice design of their existing websites. We can also check it out live. We have a nice design, and if I say hi, we can see how the AI responds.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. I mean, this is great content because you gave us a nice in-depth video on what's going on the back end and how it's the API one because I was fearful. Like I looked at it and it looked intimidating, but I'm about to throw like $10 into DeepSeek right before the price goes up so I could just like possibly train a model of my own. Great content. Thanks for curing my fear of using the DeepSeek API. Going to use it before those go up. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one, my fellow developers.